Hey guys.
What is up, everybody? The Red Wolf here today, presenting to you all. Wait, this isn't my channel.
Yeah,
Uh,
launch the
yeah.
channel. Anyways, this is Canfrey 15's channel, and you guys are back with another Dragon Quest Adventure of Die episode review for you guys. As my co-host the Red Wolf and I review episode 40 of Dragon Quest Adventure of Die, where focus mostly on the psyche of Hyunckel, but it was a very good episode. Very much enjoyed it, and yeah. So let's get to it. Anyways, so we see Mystvearn, oh my god, as we last picked off last week, we obviously saw Mystvearn with his gigantic golem looking to take over Papnika and kill everybody, because he just says the same words again. He's like, "You're all dying tonight. There's no surrender."
Just die.
Yep, just die. So he essentially unleashes his army of Shadow Legion troops on the Legion or on Papnika. Now, Pop flies off because he's pretty pissed off from the statement that Mr. Vern made of the whole fact of saying that humans are weak and, essentially the whole thing about the Dark Army always antagonizing how weak humans are and stuff like that. He gets pretty pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, now we see Crocodile getting involved in the fight. He takes out a good hefty amount of these undead legion people, essentially, which are like these guys that look like they're Shovel Knight, essentially. So he takes them out with utter ease, and I found it funny because the one guy who was at the cannon is like, "Don't you have injuries?" He presumably just takes out like half of them, and freaking Crocodile's like, "Yeah, right. I don't have any injuries."
Is he immortal?
Oh, brother. Now, Mom eventually joins in the fight because Mom's like, "Hey, I see Crocodile. Let me go help him out." But obviously, Pop's like, "You can't just do that." But what does our girl mom do?
She just lets go of Pup and just goes flying downwards into the battlefield and starts kicking butt.
Yes, utterly kicking butt and destroying all of them. Well, Pop, he's taking on the Golem, but he kind of just, I guess you could say, agitates Mr. Vern. He's like, "Ha, that did nothing." And he sends out like these blind enemies that are like look like they're based off weapons that just start chasing after Pop and everything. And Pop's essentially outnumbered. Now, this is when we get something very well. Before we talk about the very interesting thing about Pop, Die essentially is worried about not getting to help his friends out on time, and essentially, Jonk tells him like, "Don't worry, because the more you worry, the more the sword won't be fitted for you and won't be good, and it will affect the sword." Essentially, kind of saying, "Listen, you just need to stay confident. Just wait for the sword to be done." Now we get to the interesting thing about Pop this episode. So, would you care to explain, or do you want me to explain?
So basically, we cut back to we cut to a like a little short backstory of when Pop was hearing something out from his mentor, and he told Pop that he should not use the 5-finger shot spell because it will apparently shorten his lifespan.
Yep.
Like,
And it seems like Viv must have used this a lot back in his day, because before the flashback ends, he was coughing up blood still from the last fight he was in with Hadlar, and clearly it looks like he's dying. So I'm guessing I'm led to believe that Viv must have used the 5-finger flare attack a lot in his heyday, and it shortened his lifespan. And he's telling Pop, "Hey, so you don't end up like me, uh, don't do that attack." Because he's like, "I'm only like 100 years of age, And that seems like a pretty long lifespan. So it sounds like he's dying. We don't know if he's dead yet. He's probably on his deathbed right now. Probably about to kick the bucket, sadly. But that is a huge revelation. And like any other anime, when you're told not to do something, what happens?
I need to use it. My finger shot too.
Yes. I think now after hearing this plot point, I think we're gonna have to very much stay aware of this in our heads and just be like, you need to look at what Pop is doing when he uses that attack. And I feel like there's gonna be a moment in this show where he's gonna collapse and he's gonna look like he's about to die because he did this attack. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm gonna be paying very much attention to this plot point here. So yeah. Now, it looks like Pop takes out all of the forces, but then Mystvearn's like, heh, you thought that was it? No, there's more. And essentially find out, and essentially like a forbidden wing in this castle, there's like this, I guess, crystal thing that makes the more troops. Like they call it like essentially the golem's lungs. And essentially it's just making more enemies with dark aura. And essentially it's an infinite amount of enemies. So it's just there so they can have our friends get tired out. And then eventually they would get outnumbered and probably killed and stuff like that. But lo and behold, our boy Hyunckel shows up like every time when we need him in this show. And he essentially won. He tells Pop, he's like, I can't believe you're already giving up, you freaking dude. Obviously, Pop's like, why does he have to show off every damn time?
And to start to diss me of all things.
Yes. So Hyunckel shows up, and essentially, this is when Mystvearn's like, oh, my former pupil has finally appeared. And essentially, Hyunckel says, well, I overheard all the commotion going on, and it was affecting my training. So then Mystvearn makes warriors of the armor that gave Blizzard his little power boost. And Hyunckel easily takes them out with utter ease, learning all the attacks from the Yvonne teachings and stuff like that, like the Earth Slash, the Wave Slash, the Air Slash. You know, your typical Yvonne stuff with the spears and everything. And he easily just destroys them. So then that's when he's like, okay, let me take care of Mystvearn myself. And obviously, the others are like, are you serious? Let us help you. He's like, no, stay back and let me take care of this. I was about to say something, but then I remembered that's kind of manga spoilers for My Hero, but that was only in reference to Deku. Anyways, he climbs up the mountain and Mystvearn comes out because he's about to use like this one attack. And Mystvearn comes out, he's like, you foolish child. Why would you think about challenging me? And we see that Hyunckel has some sort of vendetta. Now, Crocodile tells Mom, like, the reason why he wants to take on Mystvearn is because Mystvearn, when Hyunckel was in the Dark Legion, that was his master. Taught him everything dark magic related he knew. So, essentially, we see Mystvearn like, I can't believe you would actually side with the good guys, huh? You just made me an embarrassment to Dark King Vern. And because of that, I'm going to kill you. So, Hyunckel, he starts fighting. And what happens?
Let's just say, say it.
Yeah, Mystvearn's getting the upper hand on him. He's dodging all his attacks and everything. Even to the point he scars him essentially on his cheekbone. And essentially, that's when we eventually Hyunckel finds out, oh, he's extending his fingernails essentially to be like kind of like sharp knives essentially, which is a pretty cool attack. But then that's when we see Hyunckel use dark puppetry hand. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I love it when they have a character that is bad turns to the good side and uses like a dark side attack on characters they're going up against. I love it when it doesn't matter what genre you're watching. I love when a character does that because it's like, yeah, get a taste of your own medicine. But what happens?
It's not really as strong as it once was. That's what we found out, and that's where Mystvearn just extends his fingers and pierces Hyunckel.
Yeah, and essentially kind of the premise of the rest of the episode here is the fact that Hyunckel, even though he trained, is stronger, but in terms of using like dark aura attacks, he's far weaker. And essentially, Mr. Vern kind of antagonizes him this entire, like the rest of the episode, saying, "Oh, you're weaker than what you are now," which we all know he's not. Like, why would he be weaker than he already is? And essentially, the whole thing here is Mr. Vern's telling like Hyunckel, like, listen, you can't use dark attacks like you once did because you have too much good in you. You have half and half. You fight for the good side and you have a dark side inside of you. But the only problem is, since you're really good and you're about fighting for justice and everything, the dark aura strength of yours has severely diminished, which honestly kind of makes sense. If you're a bad dude and you turn to the light side, you would think the darkness within you, in terms of using dark attacks, would just be like, yeah, look, you can use them, but they're probably weaker. If not very much far weaker. And essentially we get this one really badass attack from Mr. Vern, which is called, as I'm looking through my notes, called Dark Puppetry or a Decimation Field. Now that's a lot to say, but it looks so cool. He's like, you see guys, I caught you in my webs. And he literally had the whole area of the field is literally just webs, I guess, of dark aura. And I'm guessing this attack, from what it's, I guess, said, is the fact that I'm guessing you can only move if you have dark aura. I'm guessing that's the only thing and stuff like that. Now, the thing is, we see, as I'm going back to the antagonization of Mr. Vern, he's telling, Hyunckel, the reason why you lost this dark side of you is because in the past, when you were the Dark Legion, you had when you trained with Vaughn, you had that admiration, that goodness in you, that respect for him, which obviously would make sense even though you hate the guy. But at the same time, Mr. Vern's like telling him, even though you had all those traits, you still hated Vaughn with a burning passion, and that gave you the strength to get you to your absolute strongest. Now you just fight for the good side and you have nobody you do hate. And what do we see as Hyunckel's trying to break out of this and trying to counter the attack?
He's slowly giving into hatred again. And he's trying to feel the same kind of hatred he felt for Vaughn back then. But Mama's like, stop and don't and all that stuff.
Yes. And with crying tears, she's essentially telling him, like, please stop doing this. You don't need to do this. Because one, you don't need to fight you don't need to fight using darkness. And two, I don't want to see those eyes again. Essentially hinting she doesn't want to see the eyes of a killer or Hyunckel when we first came across him. Because that terrifies her. Obviously for someone that cares about this character. And again, I'm just gonna point out in terms of shipping stuff. Yeah, honestly, I think it's without a shadow of a doubt. If a girl is crying for you, I think it's a shadow of a doubt that mom definitely has feelings for him. So unless I'm guessing they force it to where they just forcibly hook up Pop and Mom, I'll take it. But honestly, it's like I said last week. Just honestly at this point, just hook up Hyunckel with Mom, because clearly Hyunckel has a lot of respect and care for her. At the same time, Mom has the same feelings towards him. Because we're being honest, she was the person to get him to come over to the good side.
Yeah.
So it would make sense he would have feelings for her, even though he doesn't express those. But we can clearly see that Mom has feelings for him because we've seen time and time again she clearly cares about the dude. Like the dude after he got kind of impaled and knocked down, Mom literally caught Hyunckel, kind of honestly in a similar way like when Hyunckel caught her back in the Flazard arc, which I thought was a nice callback and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe we should. I think we should just keep Hyunckel shipped with Mom, and Pop hopefully realizing that, hey, yes, Mom might be taken, but guess what? You got Meryl. So yeah. After that, that's when essentially Hyunckel powers up, but this time he's not powering up with dark aura. He's powering up with aura of light, and the aura around him is the light aura surrounding him makes him move, and the episode ends off with him using, I'm guessing, this light-based spear attack, and that's where the episode ends. And that's it. So next week we're going to see, I guess, the finishing battle between Hyunckel versus Mystvearn, which I'm guessing more than likely Mr. Vern's gonna just dominate our heroes. And then Dai makes his triumphant return with his newfound sword, which looks cool, and stuff like that. But other than that, I thought this episode was really good, especially when it dove into the psyche of Hyunckel and the fact that, yes, he can still use these dark attacks. It's just he's weaker when it comes to this. And I like the whole standpoint of the fact where, you know, these cast of characters have had so much of an influence on Pop.
Lagging.
Sorry.
Lagging.
It's lagging? Okay, we're finishing the video up because the lagging's coming back of the video. But as I was saying, the fact that these cast of characters have had a good effect on Hyunckel by turning him good and saying, hey, there is this goodness in you. You just have to bring it out. And the fact that Mr. Vern is trying to bring that darkness out of him again and maybe try to use him to turn on his friends. I like the whole thing where, especially when Mom's like, you don't need to fight using darkness. You don't need to fight using the dark aura. You can fight for good. Because if you go back to that dark side of yourself, you're just going to end up what you used to be. And I don't want to see that. And I really like that they had this whole psyche of former master and pupil just kind of in a different relationship, just in a dark relationship. Do this. Your thoughts on the episode?
I liked it, yeah. Oh my god. Those moments with Mom and Hyunckel.
Yes, very heartwarming, very emotional moments. And stuff like that. But anyways, we're gonna get out of here, guys. So if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of Dragon Quest, as well as hit that subscribe button to get more Dragon Quest content. And if you are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell icon to make sure you're up to date with anything I upload to the channel, as well as also subscribe to my boys' channel, which I'll put in the link in the description, and stuff like that. And a quick update, if you do not see some videos posting around the middle of this upcoming week, yep. Hold on. Okay, listen guys, we're gonna I'm finishing up this whole video thing here. But as I was saying, sorry for the interruption, but yeah, I might be gone for the middle of the week because I'm actually traveling to go on a vacation real quick, celebrate my graduation. Just to let you guys, if you guys like my fairy tale content, there will be a pre-recorded video arc regarding the Galuna Island arc that's going to go up on my channel up as a premiere. So what I'm probably going to do is either tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to upload that to the channel and schedule it to come out on Monday at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So look forward to that if you guys like my fairy tale arc reviews and stuff like that. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next, or we'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, we'll catch you guys in the next video. See you guys later. Peace.
Peace.